Hello, welcome to part 3 out of 4.2. Let's try to finish this up. I want to get this page and maybe look at on the next page. We should have time to do that. So let's roll right through here. Let's talk about linear functions here. And it says, is this relationship and the right a linear function? Well, let me tell you something about linear functions. Linear function comes from the word line. Okay, see the word line in here? That is basically, if we graph it and it makes a straight line, that's a linear function. One thing a linear function does is the change every time the input increases by 1, the output increases by the same amount each time. So we'll see. It says, describe the relationship in words, an equation, and graph. Again, I'm not too worried about the words, but we will look at this here. Okay, the first thing, if I'm going to describe this pattern, first of all, I want to notice that it starts at x is 0, y is 8. Okay, that's important for us. And then as x increases 1, okay, every time it goes up 1, do you see what's happening? 8 to 10, it goes up 2. As it increases 1, that's supposed to be a 1 right there. Okay, y increases 2. All right, so there it is in words for you, okay? It increases 2 as it goes up 1. So one of the things that we can notice is that when I have the 0 value here, I know if I want to turn it into an equation. Now, this is, again, probably the trickiest part for you, is going to be going from a table to an equation. One of the tricks is identifying that 0 pair, or that 0 value. The input is 0, output is 8. I know that it has to add 8, because whatever x is, if it gets multiplied by 0, the x goes away. Okay, so then what I notice here is since it goes up 2 every time, the x value is being increased by 2. So it's changing 2 times every time x goes up 1. All right, so that should be my equation right there, 2x plus 8, which that is a choice right here. Now, to be safe, let's check it. And you need to understand this right here. If all that is true, if I put a 1 into this function machine, remember the machine, the function machine? And this function machine is 2x plus 8. And then that outputs y. If I input a 1 into the function machine, you would go 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1. The output would be 10. Okay, so you see it, there's x. X is like input, but really instead of the machine, you should be imagining the equation. So if I input 2, would you get an output of 12? 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. Yes, you would. And it works for every single one of those. If I input 0, 2 times 0 is 0. That's why at the 0 value we can add that number, because the 0 is going to make that value go away. All right, plus 8 right there, and that is the output. Okay, so we've identified the equation. None of these work. It's not 2x minus 8. None of those would fit for that. You're not going to divide x by 2 and then add 8. None of those would work either. So C, B, C, or D do not work. Now if we plot the points from the table, 0, 8 is right here. See it? 0, 8. 1, 10 is right here. So you're basically plotting the points 0, 8, 1, 10, 2, 12, and 3, 14. Do you see where I'm getting those numbers from? You need to, because the numbers came from this table right here. All right, 2, 12, 3, 14. Now, you should take a straight edge and see if those points make a straight line, which they do. So yes, this is linear. The points lie on a line, so the relationship is a linear function. Okay, this is linear. Why? Visually we can see that it makes a line, but it's pronounced linear. It's not pronounced line R. Please don't call it that. Does this set of order pairs make a linear function? Let's plot them real fast. 0, 2, 1, 4, 3, 5, and 1, 8. 0, 2, 1, 4, 3, 5, and 1/8. Okay, definitely it's not linear. Okay, because it doesn't make a line. In fact, because this value, this x value, has two outputs, two different outputs. Remember what we said about a function? That it's not even a function. It's not only linear, not linear, it's not a function. Why? Because x equal 1 output, okay, 4 and 8. Can't do that. Not a function. Okay, you can't do that. We talked about that in the first video. Okay, so that's the thing. Again, tables, equations, graphs. You have to be able to go back and forth between the three. The hardest one is from the table to the equation. We'll work on that together in class. Let me just kind of wrap it up with a couple points on the next page. You'll be all done. After that, one of the things you do need to be able to do is have an idea if, given a situation, if something is dependent or independent variable. So let's look at this number 17 right here. It says, the amount of toothpaste in a tube decreases each time you brush your teeth. Okay, so there are two variables. Okay, it says identify the independent and the dependent variables. Let's say you're measuring how much toothpaste remains. Perhaps you're weighing it, perhaps you're pushing from the bottom and measuring it. I don't know. Let's say that the amount of toothpaste in the tube, okay, so they want to know, is this one the independent or dependent variable? So the number of the amount of toothpaste in a tube, I guess they want us to write there, the amount in the tube, and B is equal to the number of times you brush your teeth. So think about which one of those can you control. Okay, which one can you control? Okay, that's the independent variable. What you can control is the number of times you brush your teeth. Okay, when the number of times you brush your teeth. So the amount of toothpaste in the tube depends on the number of times you brush. Okay, therefore A, which was the amount, that's the dependent variable because the tube depends on the number of times you brush. B is independent because that's what you have control over, how many times you've brushed your teeth. Okay, so that is really the main idea of things that we need to know. So I've put you through a lot. I'm just going to stop right there. So independent, dependent variables, tables, equations, or graph, and how to get that equation. Okay, bring the notes to class tomorrow. We will wrestle with this in class. And the cool thing here is there's a couple of fun things to do on the iPads to interact with this, which we will be doing this week. Tschüss.